This is 365 Sports, powered by Sikkim365.com. Welcome to the Triple Option. Here's your host, Paul Catalina.
Welcome in. No Roy Nogaltree today. He had an eye doctor appointment. I got to tell you, and it's been a couple weeks. Royden's been busy.
He has been.
And this is his normal off day, but because he's the sports director now, it's not a river that flows straight.
Right.
So Andrew Valade is here. Emery Winter is here. Garrett Ross is here. You see Andrew right there on camera. Andrew, we're getting him. He's getting ready to get pulled up to the bigs.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's right there with Garrett. Emery just got back from a very important meeting that I can't wait to hear about. I want to, before we get to what is going to be Message Board Geniuses today, it's going to be a short show. I want to kind of address, no official announcement has been made, but I'll just tell you that we have new ownership in the water here. That it's great, and everything is as great as it possibly could have been. We're still going to have a relationship with Sikkim, all these things. It's all great. There's big changes coming, but nothing that's going to be bad.
Right.
So I've kind of made the decision on this show, because we do need to transition out of maybe where it's plateaued to find because it is the triple option with Paul Catalina. So it's about me, and so I have to make it more about me. And so we're going to be doing kind of different things all throughout to find what we can do, because we have a few months before, we start to really change kind of some of the infrastructure and things like that. So I figure, why not just have fun and figure out and do crazy, goofy stuff?
I'm all for that.
And do different things and just be able to. Our world is very serious right now, man. And we should be serious about a lot of things. There are a lot of really we have some heavy shit going on, man. We got some really heavy shit. But I do want, and even if I do, I will make jokes about, and I hope the people that watch that may live on the elephant side or donkey side, when I make jokes about you, realize that I will be just making jokes. It's not I'm not here to.
There's no personal.
I'm not. It's
vendettas.
Not a personal attack. It's not any of that. I think I've made it very clear of look, you may not agree personally with me politically, but I think the only way that we get back to where we are at our best as Americans is to talk through those things and respect each other as people, and then we'll get there. There are some crazies out there that are making it worse for all of us, but I want this show to be an hour or so or less than that, whatever it is. I've got 1 to 2 p.m. every day, Monday through Thursday, to do just something that gets our mind off of whatever's going on. So I want to do that, but I will bring some things up. And because one of the Message Board Geniuses today does have a political tinge to it, I will be laying into it hard and commenting on it. But that's only for the glory of the joke and the finding of the truth in it. So that's where I wanted to preface this. But we're going to have fun. We're going to goof around. We're going to do those things. And I hope I can get to a point where we get to a point in this country where I don't have to explain those things.
Yeah, you don't have to it's ridiculous.
But I just want people to know hey, what is Paul doing today? If you ever come on and go, what's Paul doing today? That's why I've talked about more baseball lately. And I'll tell you, I'm going to keep talking about baseball.
You should.
Because I know a lot about baseball.
You do?
I'm very passionate about it. I love baseball. And for the last 5 years, I've talked about it on the air very little. And I feel because of the way that we got kind of pigeonholed in a YouTube corner, it's that's what's allowed us to plateau a little bit, because we've gotten what we've gotten, but we need to expand more. And how do you expand more? You expand out topics. You talk about things that are currently going on. I don't know if I'll ever be a full NBA or NHL guy, even though I follow those sports and fairly closely. I'm just not passionate enough to talk about it all the time, like you would be about the NHL, Garrett.
Love it.
But I do thoroughly enjoy it. I enjoy soccer. I enjoy tennis. I enjoy golf. I enjoy a lot of things. I just want to be able to talk about topics.
Right.
and give my opinion on them and have our guests give their opinion on them and goof around and have a good time. And that's what I think this show is going to be. Like, that's really where it's going to be. And I will tell you, we've done one sketch ever, and I thought it was really good.
The Michigan State one?
Michigan State one.
Yeah,
It was
that was
really
fun.
good. It just had very shitty production value.
Yeah.
Like, we had no production value on it. It didn't look very good, but I felt our writing was good on it. And we will, in the future, as new infrastructure parts get in, I will be doing a lot more of that.
I'm excited for that. I think that people will actually really love that.
Yeah, that is something that I've got a group of people that that really want to do it. And that is more just about scheduling than anything.
That and manpower.
And yeah, like scheduling, manpower, and some funding towards that. Like you making sure that we have the right people to do it, that can do it, and we can shoot things. Because to do it the way that will look good and will be viral, that will help out. I love the guys at SEC Shorts.
Oh, they crush
I love
it.
the guys at SEC Shorts. There's another guy named Josh who does a lot of stuff out there. I'm forgetting his name right now, his last name right now, but he's really good. You see him, he does the arguments between fans. He's really good. That's the kind of stuff I'd like to do here. I'd like to do stuff with those people, if we ever are good enough to get on board with them. I genuinely love SEC Shorts.
I do too.
Genuinely love it. I think what they're doing is great. It's unbelievable that on a Sunday they turn this thing all around.
I don't know how. And the time that it's got to go in when you have multiple people doing multiple characters and the memorization and everything. It's a lot of work that they put in, and it's tremendous.
The thing that's good, though, is because very rarely is everybody in every scene. I'm sure everybody has 100 hats that they're wearing, but you can do it over and over again and just get the line right. They also don't have very long monologues most of the time.
Short.
So it's just it's joke, and so they get that out, which I think is good. But those are the things we need to learn how to do that, turn it around quickly, or make ones that are. You want to make things that are kind of evergreen too, which is kind of what they do. You can go back and watch something, even though it's timely for them, and it's just so great. So those are the things that are coming, at least on the triple option. I'll be doing a whole lot more stuff. The Cowboys stuff, all this other stuff we'll be doing. Fantasy in the fall. We're going to figure out how to do that more year round. So just to maybe kind of update you on the things that are coming, the things that we think about, that we have listen, I believe that there's no bad ideas.
No.
Only bad people with ideas.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's
but
fair.
No, there's no bad idea. But I mean, as far as us, we have, but we have a lot in the offing. So I wanted to just kind of, tell people where my head is at. I appreciate everybody who watches this show every day, everybody who watches even a clip of it. Those of you who have been very loyal, who text me, who call, I love that. So, but we're this show has been for the couple years it's been on now, kind of finding it, and we're going to take these next few months to really find it, and then we're going to have a lot of new that goes on. Yeah. Things are going to look different, so it's going to be very exciting. But all right, let's get to the message board geniuses here, right. Garrett. So should I start with basketball and end with football since it's basketball season?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Yeah.
So I don't know if you've heard the news today. If you're out there, I know, Garrett, you know it. But Hubert Davis agreed to a contract extension this past summer, signed it in December. It goes to 2030. That's 5 years from now. North Carolina is not great.
No. They beat Florida State last night.
Also, their coach is retiring. Yes. I respect everything that Leonard Hamilton, he brought Florida State to a spot in basketball I never thought they'd be, but now I'm ready for the next guy.
Right.
And so is he now, finally.
Yeah, yes.
I think that was about 2 years ago we should have been ready for the next guy, but 2020 kind of clouded our judgment a little bit because honestly, I can tell you 3 of the Final Four teams would have been Baylor. The Final Four teams, in my opinion, that year would have been Baylor, Kansas, Gonzaga, and FSU because those are the teams were just rolling through people. FSU was rolling through people. And then COVID hit. Now, would they have beaten any of those 3 other teams?
Probably not.
Not a chance.
Probably not.
Not a chance. No. No. But, like, I think they would have been a Final Four team in 2020. That's how well they were playing and how, like, they were just so good. But, anyhow, Hubert Davis is staying. Chapel Hill is and here's the deal. This is from a couple of weeks ago. I went and found this because I'm curious as to what they've been saying about Hubert Davis, because the announcement of the extension just came out a couple hours ago. So the message board geniuses on Twitter haven't had time to go through and clip all those things, although by end of day today, I'm sure they will.
But before we do this, like, what is your opinion on that? I don't think it's necessarily a good hire. I think he's kind of been a dud, personally. He had the one good year when they beat Baylor.
Okay,
but
outside of that run,
they haven't done anything
that they made. And remember, they barely made it in.
Yeah.
Outside of ruining Duke, like the Krzyzewski goodbye.
Yep.
And that run,
that's it.
He hasn't done anything. And he's a really bad coach without Armando Bacot.
Yes.
Really bad coach without Armando Bacot. So
I think that the standard of that university deserves somebody better to come in and grab the reins, infuse the NIL donors, and take North Carolina basketball back to the standard that it's expected to have year in and year out. And I think Hubert's a great person, but I don't think he's the right fit in this era for North Carolina basketball.
I mean, look, he had the great, like it was. I mean, Manick was there, and all that. They had that.
Brady Manick was cold as hell.
Caleb Love was there. I mean, like who's now in Arizona. I can't believe Caleb Love is still playing. As a matter of fact, because that was 3 years ago.
Ridiculous.
But even still, I really outside of that team and that run, and of course, beating Duke twice on the way out for Coach K. Like, that was it. And maybe without that momentum that they could have grabbed from that emotional momentum that they ripped away from Duke, I don't know, like, how well they do in the tournament. Look, if Baylor had a few more fouls to give, they win the game. And coming all the way back from that.
Was that when Matthew Meyer fouled out, didn't he?
Yeah, Matthew Meyer fouled out. If Matthew Meyer doesn't foul out, I think they win the game.
Yeah.
And that was where Jeremy Sohan became like, to me, I was like, well, I knew he was going to go to the NBA, but I knew I was like, oh, this guy's going to go to a team and he's going to fit in perfect because he's Mr. like, I can do it all. Yeah. So, all right, let's so I need to do this in like a North Carolina. Well, North Carolina, we're so happy to have you here. Sit down here and have some pulled pork, some lovely mustard-based barbecue sauce. Mustard-based or vinegar there?
I think it's mustard. I feel like it's mustard-based in North Carolina.
Yeah. We've had this whole hog roasting all day for you, smoking. Jerry, get some of that hog, some good tater salad, and my mama's biscuit recipe. That's there for you.
Mm-hmm.
And let's talk about North Carolina basketball. I want to talk about the North Carolina basketball shirt tails. Either tuck them in or wear them out. Old school here, but disgusted watching 3 players wearing the shirt tails out the last 5 minutes. Reeks of disrespect for the school, former players, etc. It's pathetic when they have to be told to do so by the refs. Maybe I only noticed it when they got down big. But we had 3 to 4 guys with jerseys just completely untucked. Like they would check into the game that way. Combined with the sloppy play, it just looked bad. Is there no longer a standard for anything? Jerry, what's the ETA on my pork?
That's an interesting take. I've never really understood the whole tucking in the jerseys in basketball. I think it's kind of stupid. Like, make the damn jersey where it doesn't have to be so long or something.
Yeah.
And the emphasis put on it, I just think it's kind of ridiculous at times. But that's one of those things where your program is falling apart or things are just completely discombobulated, and you find the most minute thing to argue about That's just kind of a sad state of affairs for that North Carolina fan.
Yeah. Okay, this is from Brooklyn Heel. So do I need to do? This is
Brooklyn. Go to the borough, man.
I got to do a. I got to
go to the
Brooklyn.
borough.
I got to work myself up to this. Like sometimes you got to talk into it. So like, hey, I'm from Brooklyn. You know, I don't know what's going on here. You know, with the friggin' shirts. All right, I'm watching Houston versus Baylor. Not a single guy in the court with a jersey out. We have no standard, culture, or identity. We need to change bad. The jerseys are just a symbol of the sloppy state of our program.
People are really pissed about them jerseys.
Yeah. Lack of discipline. I truly think none of them guys are invested in what Hubert has to say anymore. I ain't joking when I say that I wish Hubert would implement Dean and Guts dress policies on and off the court. So, this is why you're bad.
Because your jerseys.
Yeah,
it
your jerseys.
all goes back to having untucked jerseys.
All right.
That's why you're a terrible basketball team.
Okay, so this is from Dean879 on Hubert Dunn being coached by Hubert Davis. So, I'm kind of what like.
Can you do like a?
It was an I would rather.
I would rather.
I would rather. So I'm wondering, like, what I should do. Like, what's the voice of I would rather?
I would rather.
Is it like a dude? Is it?
I think it's kind of like some kind of chick, like a. What do you
I
got?
would rather like that.
Yeah, like a. Yeah,
Like just a really angry girl.
just a really angry girl,
really upset girl. Okay. Really upset. I don't know if Dean879 could be. Who knows? Could be a girl. I would rather drink a quart of Pennzoil than be coached by Hubert Davis. I would rather watch Little House on the Prairie on a 24/7, 365 loop than be coached by Hubert Davis. I'd rather take my mother-in-law to the mall than be coached by Hubert Davis. I would rather eat nachos and cheese from the Dean Dome than be coached by Hubert Davis. That one is too inside for me to understand.
Yeah, I don't get that one.
I would rather vacation in Bun Level, North Carolina than be coached by Hubert Davis. And I would rather be Drake on the 50-yard line of the Super Bowl halftime show than be coached by Hubert Davis.
Damn, that was good.
That was
a deep
ice
cut.
cold.
That was a deep
That
cut.
is ice cold.
I love that.
That is ice cold.
I love
right.
that.
So one of the things the last hour that I've become familiar with, and I didn't realize this for football. Like I knew they had the rivalry a little bit, but it was kind of they border it. But Arkansas and Mizzou don't like each other. Mizzou has a lot of Kansas hate for Kansas, that had to leave. So they just instead of looking to the west, they looked to the east.
Okay,
I guess.
They just transferred it with the SEC.
And just were like, we hate them, but we don't really play them all that much anymore. How about you guys? Yeah, F you.
There you go.
So that's kind of how it went. Like they were, I really hate them. I'm not going to play them. Suck it, Arkansas. And so they had this. So I saw a couple of things that I thought were funny. And mind you, Arkansas's basketball court is sponsored by Tyson Foods.
Mm-hmm.
This is an absolute just dart of an insult thrown at Arkansas fans that I'm just going to read straight up and down.
Okay.
Because I don't really know what a Missouri accent is.
Yeah, I don't either.
They're kind of muddled. It depends on where, like if you're from near Arkansas, it's one thing. If you're from St. Louis, it's another thing. If you're, So Arkansas's basketball court is just a reminder that there are fat frickers in Walmart right this minute buying chicken nuggets and preparing to get fatter.
Damn.
Yeah. That's a dart right there.
That's like stereotypically like nailed everything about Arkansas.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Okay. Here is an SEC rant that says, make SEC Southern again.
Oh, my God.
So this is going to get the kind of like toothless treatment here.
Okay, it needs to.
Considering that the furthest north they go is Missouri.
I kind of get where they're coming from with the Oklahoma thing. Like,
They didn't even mention Oklahoma.
But that's the one that really bugs. Like, I think that in Texas, but more so Oklahoma is the one that it just doesn't make any sense to me. Because to me, I view Oklahoma, like me and Emery had this conversation.
Oklahoma's
with Jack.
the
It's
West.
the Midwest. It's like more Midwest than it is.
Oklahoma to me is kind of where like that's the West. That's
Right.
where the West starts. Texas is
Texas is its
Texas
own
and
thing.
Oklahoma
It's not
are kind
even
of the
the South.
Southwest.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of where it begins. Yeah. Okay. Make the SEC Southern again. And I'm sure he's talking about Oklahoma here, but I'm going to read it as written.
Okay.
Let's give Missouri, Texas, and Missouri the boot. Ain't nobody want those schools or states in the conference. Why did we ever let the Yankee-Sankey expand into those states? It'll only be a matter of time before the Texas fans start wanting to move traditional events to Texas.
He's not wrong there.
We've already done it.
We've done it once.
Yeah. El Paso, which is not SEC country,
not
by
even-
the way. Not even
God.
close. El Paso is closer to California than Savannah. Ain't nothing SEC about that state or Southern about the rest. Thanks, Sankey, for ruining what was the greatest conference.
Oh, my God. I mean, you actually added some damn value.
Yeah.
You added more playoff teams. You've added a lot there.
Yeah.
You didn't even mention Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Like, did you forget it? I mean, okay.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
fair.
Well, I don't think this guy is the...
But I will give him credit, though.
He's not the brightest crayon in the box.
He's not, but I feel like there were some points, some valid points in this little argument. I'll give him that.
I mean, El Paso is closer to California than it is to
Paso's
Savannah.
definitely closer, yes.
That is a statement of fact. That's true.
There's a couple. I'll give him a couple there.
That's very true. That's very true.
Okay.
Even still, saying that, like, Texas, I mean, buddy, you don't live here.
No.
Believe me, we are the South.
I think it's different, though. I think East Texas,
We're a bunch of different things.
we are. We're like 5 states.
If you've ever seen the movie Bernie, it's described
yeah, they nail it.
perfectly.
Nailed it. Yeah.
Perfectly. There's the piney woods and the carcinogenic coast. And
Yep. Yep.
what do you say? Like, yeah, I forgot about the panhandle in there, and most people do.
Most people do.
Like that was it. You got the People's Republic of Austin,
Yep.
and, North Texas, like so. San Antonio, where the Tex meets the Mex. So it's a lot of different things.
Yep.
Texas is more of a melting pot than any
Yes.
other state in the South.
It
Like,
is.
But to pretend that like Southern values are not espoused at a disgustingly high level in this state, like over and over and over again, like please, we're writing the
are.
book on it every day.
Yeah.
Like we really are. All right, we're into some basketball now.
Okay.
So, back into basketball. Like, we went back in. I guess that wasn't really football.
weaving.
Like,
It's all
we're
good.
kind of back into the – okay, so the other big deal is Indiana does not have a basketball coach.
Mm-hmm.
So, right now, in a program like Indiana that's a very proud basketball program but has not been relevant in a very long time, they've been through a ton of coaches since Bob Knight, and none of them have been successful. None of them have been successful.
No.
Especially not to the level that Indiana fans want, especially like Purdue is their big rival.
Yeah.
They're elite year in and year out. Matt Painter's doing a great job. Indiana's a basketball state.
Butler's been way better.
Butler, all these things like Valpo, like every
the Indiana State last year with the old boy. I can't remember his name, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. No, so it's a very proud basketball state. And it's a very proud basketball university. So they constantly want, the best in coaches. Mm-hmm. So you've heard names like Chris Beard and Scott Drew. Scott Drew didn't go to Kentucky. He's not going to go to Indiana. Like, I don't even think that's going to get down the road.
I don't either.
Because I think that was last year was the last time that we're ever going to see that again with Scott Drew. Because I honestly believe that he's got 5 to 7 years and then he's going to retire.
Yeah.
He's going to retire.
fishing.
He'll do a little bit of TV. He'll be really fun on TV, and he'll fish and spend time with his kids and his family. That's what he'll do, and because I think that's where his heart is. Like, he wants to get a couple good runs left in, and then,
what else does he have to accomplish?
Kind of do the Jay Wright thing.
Yeah, like he has nothing else to accomplish. He's won the Natty. I know everybody would want to win another one, right? Like, you always want to win another one, but
see,
you know what?
He's still got it.
The Big 12 tournament championship is the only thing he doesn't have.
What's that?
The Big 12 tournament championship is the only thing he doesn't have.
And that thing's kind of pointless.
It's pointless.
I mean, if you're going to make the tournament anyway. Now, this year it would really help them.
That's fair. That's
would really help them out a lot. Okay, so this is from Peegs.com, which is an Indiana message board. And Buzz Williams doing a great job at A&M this year, one of the better teams in the country. The Aggies are.
I love Wade Taylor. He's fun as hell to watch.
Yeah. And I don't know if they're in a position to be super picky at Indiana right now.
No.
And here's the thing that makes them very mad. So Dusty May was at Florida Atlantic. And if Mike Woodson had stepped away a year ago, they might have been able to get him over Michigan because he's an Indiana alum.
Right.
Well, now that's not going to happen. Michigan's giving him, he's got money. Like, they're not going to be able, it would be irresponsible for them to buy him out.
Right.
So that's what they're really mad is, like, the guy they should have hired, they should have been able to do it a year ago. And the fans rightfully all knew this was going nowhere with Mike Woodson. And then we're just stuck for another year. Yep. So I get why there's rage in Bloomington. Okay. I think I should do this as maybe a, like, snobby person.
Okay.
Because it's a very snobby comment here.
Okay.
Now, Buzz Williams does have a little bit of that PJ Fleck motivational speaker vibe to him.
He does. I also think he's the catalyst and the reason why we're talking about expansion, because he threw that big fit a few years ago and A&M was left out, and that's when it started the conversation.
And look, he was very articulate in it.
He was.
So he wasn't just a guy. He knew what he was going to say and then said it.
He did.
Which they got screwed. Like, just because they got screwed doesn't mean we need to expand.
But they also could have won a lot more games early on and in the middle of the season.
Yeah. I mean, don't lose 7 games in a row.
Don't do that.
Between January 10th and February 10th or whatever it was. You know? Yeah. So, all right. Maybe I could, like, I don't know if you remember this guy. His name is William F. Buckley. He was the editor of National Review. He was like a conservative commentator back in the 80s.
No, I don't remember this guy.
He would come on and advertise, and he would be like, hello, I'm William F. Buckley. I'm the editor of National Review. If you would like to subscribe to... And he had that, like, mid-Atlantic like accent. But he was just like... He was too bored to, like, with having to talk to, poor people. Like, the cameraman in the room.
Right,
who's like...
Right.
This guy drives a Honda Civic. I don't know if I can...
Dirty animal.
Oh, all right. Yes, I'm looking into the camera. All right. I'm William F. Buckley. Like, that's how snooty I feel this is. Okay. I'll try to read it without my glasses because he used to, like, do this thing. Buzz Williams is the epitome of a pathetic little man. If we end up hiring that bum, we'll make protest when Bob Knight was fired look like a damn picnic. I don't like his face, his personality, the clothes he wears, the way he coaches basketball, or the people he's friends with, Greg Doyle. It's a real shame I even heard his name brought up. He's a serial loser that wouldn't last a second here. That's mean.
A serial loser that wouldn't last a second here.
Yes.
I mean, he's not the best. He's better than what you've had.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
I'll give you that on his outfit. Some of his outfits are Kim Mulkey-ish. But I will give you that. I will definitely give you that.
Yeah, no, he's a little bit male Mulkey. Okay, so this is from Jayhawk Slant. And while I would love to read a lot of these, I'm afraid my wife wouldn't get the joke.
I feel bad for your safety.
So, no. This one is...
This is safe?
I had to pull this one because It is one of the most articulate message board posts ever.
Oh, I think I know which one this is.
And I'm going to do this in a very erudite British
Stoic.
accent.
Yeah.
And we're saving the best for last. You know what's coming on the Clemson one here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. In Plato's allegory of the cave, prisoners are chained in place, their necks fastened so they can only stare at a wall. Behind them, a fire burns. And between the fire and the prisoners, figures move back and forth, casting shadows on the wall. To the prisoners, these shadows are a reality. It's all they've ever known. Whenever one of them is freed and brought outside the cave, they struggle to see the true world because their eyes can adjust to the brightness. Eventually, they return to the cave to tell the others what they've discovered. But their revelation is met with skepticism and scorn. I'm afraid those of you who sit here constantly ragging on Hunter, Dewan, and KJ are those prisoners. You're merely seeing shadows on the wall. None of them have been perfect, and they've all had poor performances, but each one of them plays their ass off. This crap about Hunter being lazy and slow is an error of perception. He's a huge guy, so it's somewhat understandable, especially watching on television, where you can see that type of energy and hustle as well. Or how about Nietzsche's eternal recurrence? Our lives are infinitely repeating in the same sequence. That would be all of you who constantly repeat the same criticisms, turning them into a mantra about Harris, KJ, Hunter, and self. Or maybe the myth of Sisyphus is more apt. You keep pushing the same boulder up the mountain, only for it to roll back down again. This has always been an incredibly disappointing season, but surprisingly, being on forums like this, seeing the same hypercriticism and infectious negativity every single day has given me unexpected perspective. In the face of all this ignorance, I've come to not only appreciate how excellent this program has been, but also recognize with 100% certainty, let me say that again, 100% certainty, that there are always going to be bad seasons. The drama, the travesty, the fans are losing their mind. Insert Goya's Saturn devouring his son. But I see it as a journey, and I'm excited to see what happens next. It might be bad, it might get worse. Doomslayers will be calling for heads to roll. But you just don't know. And that's what makes it fun.
Well thought out.
Yeah.
That's
really
some deep. That's some deep.
I mean, look,
message board.
Plato's allegory of the cave, Nietzsche, Sisyphus, Goya's Saturn devouring his son. That is 4 high-level references. And I'm wondering if this guy is not, in fact, a professor at Kansas.
When you were reading that, that's exactly what I was thinking. This dude was a professor, or he was like one of the just an understudy of one or something.
No one will ever be topped in that.
No,
one. That was unbelievable. How did you feel the voice went with that there?
I thought it went really well.
Okay, good deal. Yeah, so
the only thing is, like, I would disagree with him because I think Hunter Dickinson is an issue and a liability. This kind of thing, same thing would go with Harris. I think both of them, you're seeing why they're still playing college basketball. Like, this is why, because they're not ready to go to the NBA. But yeah, it's an interesting take there.
All right. This is from Kane Sport. Carson Beck needs to buy a sensible ride and go work out. Canes initially said this. And I'm going to do the responses just like a dude.
Okay.
All right. Kane said unnecessary drama would never happen with Cam Ward. 400K in vehicles, totally unnecessary for a college kid. Keep the focus to what you're getting paid to do. This is from Ghostface CD Wright 40. Actually, completely agree with this, LOL. WTF. I am old or out of touch or something, because to me, this is a bit silly. This money should be earning interest somewhere. Go buy yourself a sensible ride and go work out.
Yeah. Did you do that at 20 something years old, sir? No,
Yeah.
you did not. You probably still aren't doing that to this day.
Yeah, absolutely. So, by the way, we've made 35 minutes out of this.
We have. I was not
We've
expecting
35
that,
minutes
I'm
out of this.
thoroughly enjoying this.
35 minutes out
And
of this.
look, I'm not like, you could take an Uber. I don't think this necessarily has anything to do with working out. Don't be stunting on people and flashing your stuff and expect not to get jacked. Like, that's called life. That's reality. Some people just might not understand that, but you're going to put it out there, you're going to get got.
Yeah. No, that's.
I mean, it's just.
Well,
is what it
especially
is.
in the city that he's in.
Yes.
Like, that's just. Smokey was like, "Hey, you're being too hard on Miami." I'm like, "No, this is not like This is not me being hard on the university at all. This is me like being hard on this, like realistic about the city."
Yeah.
Like most of the time, when a movie or television show is made about Miami, it's made about crime.
You know how, like, dude, you get those cars and take them to the port so quick.
Yeah.
Send up, man.
No, like there's just
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll tell you a story about Miami. You want to know a wild ass story about
I
Miami?
love a wild ass story.
My
about Miami.
dad had a friend, well-to-do guy, very successful in the agriculture business, like very, very successful. He lived in a very nice neighborhood. My dad and this group of dudes used to go to Vegas and go to Caesar's Palace every year. And because of like a couple of these guys, just high roller shit all the time. And so like they would get the front row. So that just to give you an idea of how successful this dude is and what kind of neighborhood he lived in Miami. And in like a really nice, like gated community in Miami. So one night he's in bed with his girlfriend. And mind you, this guy's like probably at this point like 55 years old.
He's Bill Belichick in this situation, probably.
I don't know. Like,
okay.
I do like. I will tell you, he was a super fun dude, really nice guy, and so my dad called to check. Like he skipped the Vegas trip, and nobody really knew why. But so like after they got, he said, you know, he's just like he's had they just said he sounds like he's having a bit of a rough time. Like, you know, go ahead and like go on the trip, check on him when we get back.
Right.
You know, so dad was kind of the emissary to call him up. And so dad calls him up and he says, man, where were you? Like, it's not the same without you. He's like, oh, I'll be there next year. Just, you know, about a month ago, I was laying in bed with my girlfriend, you know, they were not clothed. And all of a sudden, like 5 guys in ski masks come in and break in and yelling at him to tell him the code to this. He didn't have a safe. Like, tell him the code to the safe, tell him the code, like asking him all this stuff, like tied them both up, gun to their head and everything. And it was terrifying. They realized very quickly that they've got the wrong house.
Oh, no.
But by this time, the guys... like the alarm, like his alarm's been tripped and all this stuff, so the cops are coming. Like it's one of those things where like they had 5-10 minutes tops to like go into the house they were going to, you know, take somebody hostage, get them to give the combination of the safe and make off with whatever they wanted and whatever they're after. And so, so then like the cops come and, you know, they're like upstairs in this big ass house that's got all these rooms in it. And so they were there for like, the guys left. I don't know I can't remember if they got him like right away or if they got him later on, but they were just upstairs tied up in the room alone for like 15 minutes before the cops even found him. And so like that happened in Miami. I've known a lot of people from a lot of places. Miami. Because Miami attracts all kinds.
Oh, yeah.
So good people, bad people, people in the middle. You know, there's a lot of like
A whole lot of new identities.
yeah, a lot
New
of
lives.
You know, like it's easy to get in and easy to get out of,
buddy.
kind of a thing. So yeah, and so what I never found out, but like what was kind of always suspected was he didn't know the neighbors on either side of him. He knew some of the ones like down the street.
Right.
So it was probably one of those, but he'd never met them. So he was curious as to what
they had.
what they were into, because it was that kind of neighborhood where,
That's how, man.
very easily there could have been a Colombian drug
Don't get
lord.
it twisted. It's nicer neighborhoods or some of the.
Yeah. So, all right.
Is this the one?
This is the one. And, of course, I guess the most popular voice we're doing would be Skeletor.
Oh, got to.
Yeah. And I think it might be a little bit appropriate for this.
I think so. I think Skeletor would fit in with these peeps.
Yeah. So, this is from TigerNet, the Clemson message board. It's going to be great when Musk agrees to bankroll Clemson's NIL. Clemson will win the 2025 college football championship. The team will go to the White House like they did before, without the drama and boycotting that so many teams have had that refused to go when Trump was in office. Musk will be there with Trump and will bond with Dabo and the boys. Both will sport hats Dabo gives them for All In. And Musk will announce he loves this group and sign on to fund NIL opportunities at levels that push Clemson far higher than any other college sports program. The future is bright.
Rob. Oh.
So, I can tell you right now, Elon Musk is never giving a dime to
He don't
Clemson.
give a damn about football. He don't care.
No, he's going to try to impregnate a cheerleader. That's what he's
Probably.
going to do.
Or Kate Klubnik.
Well, I mean, I understand that like it's a little bit, but man, you have really been dipped in the
Yeah.
in the red pudding there. If you
Now, Dabo would definitely, I think Dabo and them would definitely vibe out. And I can see them wearing the weird hats together.
yeah, I don't know, like
But,
I don't know.
no. But the crazy thing is, I don't think Clemson would necessarily win the national championship this year, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were one of the final four teams.
Oh, I think they're going to be
they're
quite
going to be
good.
freaking good. Like,
They're going to be
really
quite good. Dabo he's very good at getting out of his own way, and then he's also good at or getting in his own way, but he's also been pretty good at like kind of walking slowly, albeit out of it.
Well,
So-
I mean, I also think that helps when like you saw Florida State do what happened with them, the success that they had. Not talking about last year, but you saw Miami is starting to come back, and you kind of fell off the radar. You know, you also were never in contention when Saban retired. Remember, it was always Dabo's going to go be the next replacement for Saban. You were never brought up. Like,
Yeah.
you kind of became an afterthought. You were a joke because of how you addressed the portal. Yeah, and I think he finally realized, took some time to look in the mirror, reflect, and I think that now they're very dangerous again. They're going to become very damn dangerous.
Yeah. So, anyway, well, that's going to, like, I need to now rest.
Yeah.
That Skeletor takes it out of me, man.
He gets you, man.
AT takes it out of me. He does. He's one of those, you have to really use a lot of parts of your nose and
deep.
throat. Yeah. We'll call that the Jana Jameson of my impressions. Too soon? I don't
Good Lord.
Yeah. Anyway, that's good for. We're loaded up on the show today.
are.
We've got.
Hell of a
We're going to
show.
do the Kansas State schedule. We've got Coop because Luka and the Mavs play against each other tonight, and I'm curious just from Coop's perspective how it's going to be hard, like watching him come down the court and then saying Luka nails a shot,
Yeah.
and then like in your mind, you know that you're like that used to give you the
It used to
dopamine
mean
hit.
something.
Now it won't.
Yeah.
So, like, what's the? It's like Severance. Like you have,
there you go.
you do it, different parts of it. We've got bracketology with Charlie
and
Cream and with for women's basketball and
on here.
with Jerry Palm.
Yeah, Jerry Paul.
And Jerry Palm today, and John McClain as well. That's all coming up in an hour and 15 minutes. We'll see you then. This is the Triple Option.
of sending someone a boring gift basket? Don't. I know, gifting is hard, but don't give basic. Gift Bordery. Fully arranged, gorgeous.